Hey guys, how's it going? This is Coach Obi with Lionstrong Fitness Global. And here guys, I'm back with another subject guys. We're just gonna be talking about, the truth about high volume and what coaches oftentimes get wrong about this because, or not just coaches, but people alone are just confused with what volume is. And so, yeah, so we'll talk about that guys, and be sure to share this video with people that you know, love, care about. That way they can get the information and you guys can apply it as soon as you turn off this video. And guys, before we get started guys, just know that I'm always thankful you guys for being here. You guys can be anywhere else consuming nonsense online, but the people that come to these videos are typically of higher intelligence and actually want to get those results, and I'm going to give it to you in a very simplified way. So guys, what is volume? Volume is just, simply put, it's just the amount of poundages, reps and sets, total repetitions, yeah, so that's basically in your training. So to give you a better example, let's just say guys, I'm doing bicep curls. Okay, I'm doing bicep curls, and let's just say I have 20 pounds in each hand. Okay, so just to kind of get an idea what I'm talking about, every time you do a rep, you're basically doing a multiple of 40 pounds. Okay, so if I have 20 pounds in each hand, I'm doing 40, 80, 120, so on and so forth. So you take that, and then you take however many sets you do. Okay, also you factor in your rest periods. People oftentimes, when it comes to volume, they don't really apply how much they rest, because typically when you take longer rest periods, the body isn't as fatigued, it's not as taxed, so therefore it doesn't have to work as hard. Okay, of course, if you take shorter rest periods, your body is more in a state where it's uncomfortable. Therefore, every time you have to go back to do a set, you have to really push a lot harder, because you have to recruit more energy in order to do each rep. This is why when people do drop sets, supersets, giant sets, things that don't require a lot of rest, they're typically more exhausting because of the increased intensity. Okay, and then also by you increasing the intensity, you're increasing the force of your training, and by increasing the force of the training, that also adds to your volume. Okay, so volume isn't just so much about the quantitative aspect; it's more about the stuff you can't really measure, which is your effort, your heart rate, or not heart rate, but just overall fatigue. Okay, those are more of the intangibles. So why is this important, guys? It's important because when people create programs, they're not factoring in intensity. They're not factoring in effort. They're very robotic. Do 3 sets of 10. Okay, but what I do with my programs, which by the way, guys, if you're interested in doing workouts that only take 30 minutes, all you need is dumbbells, can be done anytime in the world. What I do is I believe in doing things for time. Okay, I believe in increasing the distance or the time of the set, which naturally increases the time under tension. Okay, so when I have a longer time under tension, I can establish a better mind muscle connection with the muscle, because I'm less worried about how many reps I'm doing and more about executing, squeezing, stretching, really doing what I like to call, don't laugh, making love to the muscle. Okay, in other words, you don't want to just go in there and just go fast. You want to take your time. You want to really take your time. Sorry for the example, guys. Someone a long time ago gave me that example, and it fits. But anyway, you want to really make sure that you're really focusing on squeezing, getting that contraction, and then when you're doing these sets in this particular fashion, usually when you're going above 60 seconds and beyond. Personally, when I'm training, I like to do anything. I like to do at least 3 minutes, and that may sound excessive, but I love it because it allows me to really break down that muscle, to really get that connection, really stimulate my body. I'm gauging my core because other muscle groups have failed, so therefore the core has to really engage and help out. But on top of that, because my whole body is exhausted and I'm trying to give more effort, that heart rate tends to go up significantly. And I always say that you want to be able to get all 3 together. So when you're training, people oftentimes don't understand that the volume that the volume that you're doing, there needs to be a consistent feeling that you're experiencing. Okay, typically when you do high volume training, ideally and correctly, you should be able to experience the strength gains, because again, it typically involves, or at least the way I do it in my fusion training system. By the way, guys, link is in the description. You go to my website if you want to get a program. They're amazing, 1 through 7. Oftentimes I like to have all my sets start off with heavier weight, because it's set up that way because I have to do a drop set. So if I'm doing bicep curls with me, I'll grab 100 pounds, 110 pounds, and I'll do hammer curls, like heavy hammer curls. Now, when people see me do this, it sounds crazy, right? Because I'm not getting that many reps, right? I'm getting as clean as I can, but I understand that I'm gonna reach failure with that particular weight. And when I reach failure with that weight, instead of stopping the set like everyone else does, I drop down to hundreds. I do the same thing, go down to 90s, then 80s, then 70s. And then by the time I've gotten down to like 20 pounds, believe it or not, I'll go from 110 to 20 pounds, guys. That's what 110, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. I'm basically doing 10 sets in one set. So now when we look at the overall workload, okay, let's use this formula, my favorite formula, which helps me put into simple forms as far as the amount of intensity I'm applying, is the work formula. What's work? Work equals mass times distance, or time. Okay, so let's apply this. So if I'm doing all these weights and I'm doing a drop set, you can see how much force I have to use. I'm going from a heavy weight all the way down to lighter weights, but those lighter weights still feel heavy, so I'm still pushing myself, on top of the fact that I'm fatigued from the subsequent weight that I was using. My body's taxed because I have to really give my all, so the force is there. Okay, as far as mass, I'm using different weights, but we're not taking into account, like I already talked about, is the fatigue. So not only are you lifting the weight or doing these weights to failure, you're doing as many as you can, you're going for the same amount of time, but it's the fatigue that you're experiencing, and then having to push past the fatigue. Guys, all that is something that people don't think about when they talk about volume. People think volume is just black and white. Reps and sets. They just think it's that. But they don't take into account how you feel while you're doing this and afterwards. So I know about these concepts because I apply them. I apply similar concepts to my clients, hence why they get amazing results. And the reason why, guys, train like this works is because when you keep sending your body the same signal, the same stimulus, it's forced to adapt. And that's the key to training, is to create ways to have forced adaptation. You have to keep forcing the body to do something it doesn't want to do. It's perfectly capable of doing, but it doesn't want to do. But how can you package that in a fashion where workouts only take less than a half hour and all you need is minimal equipment? And that's why, guys, in my elite performance coaching and my Lionstrong Fusion Training programs, I have all that. And this is why everyone that does my programs is satisfied. These programs typically integrate into people's lives, so they're working for you. You're not working for the program. What does that mean? You're not having to force your life around this. It works with your life because it's sustainable. Okay, you can do them at the gym, do them at home. As long as you got dumbbells, guys, you can get rocking and rolling, and you can experience those amazing results. But guys, that's the video I wanted to explain. Volume. As you can see, volume is a lot more nuanced than people think. When people say, "Oh, I'm increasing my volume," it's not just increasing your sets, increasing your reps. And also, guys, the reason why I like to do things for time is because it allows you to take more of a reflection as far as how you're feeling. Like, so if I do 3 sets of 10, right? Because I do a lot more than that when I train or have my clients train, it's not because on paper it's not that much. Because if you're doing a set for 2 minutes, you're easily gonna exceed those repetitions, especially when you're doing the training the way I talked about. But it's more about the feeling you're getting, the feeling of exhaustion, the feeling of feeling the muscle tissue break down, your heart rate. These are things that go into a more nuanced perspective when it comes to increasing your volume. Okay, when you increase your volume, your heart rate should go up, the fatigue should go up, and the time of training should always go down. But people oftentimes think that, well, if I increase my volume, I increase the length that I work out. You're not, because the rest periods are the same. The whole point of training less is to get more efficiency. And the reason why my systems work is because the finish line doesn't change. You're still doing your 30-minute training. The key is, how do I get more work done in the same amount of time? Okay? And that's when you have to start kind of looking into all the other factors, rest periods, intensity, all these things, okay? So guys, hope that makes sense to you guys. If you guys are confused by anything I talked about, please leave a comment down below. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. That's all I do, guys. When I'm working with clients, when I'm creating programs, I'm making videos. I make videos on TikTok a lot. I go live there as well. So guys, I invite you guys to check that out. And also, guys, like I said before, check out all my programs, all my nutrition systems, and my elite performance coaching. If you guys are interested in that, be sure to check out lionstrongfitness.net for more information. And yeah, guys, that's all I have today. I'll be back with the next video very soon. And guys, I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. And guys, this is your coach, Obi, the Lionstrong CEO, and we're out of here.